city the best it can be, given our location between New York and Yale. We didn't talk about business. You know, the Latino community, 27 million small businesses in this country. 3.3 million are Latino-owned businesses. This is a very strong Latino community in Norwalk. Norwalk is in a position to start generating more revenue by bringing in businesses and saving itself. That all generates revenue, and that's what helps in terms of keeping the SoNoCC Center. Planning and zoning, growing your city with a plan, having a plan, not buildings popping up here, there, and everywhere, that it may perhaps put more stress on infrastructure, coupled with bringing in businesses, and that means a mayor that goes out and tries to recruit small businesses into our community, is what grows our tax base, our grand list, and allows us to give revenue and money to places like SoNoCC. This is what's got to be done. And until we see the correlation between revenue generation that goes beyond residential property taxes, we will struggle. I'm a businesswoman, that's what I've done. Raising revenue is what I do, and I think we need to have that sort of a vision. And I can see within the Latino community, it will come from your community. That's where small business and entrepreneurship is coming from. Can't even say entrepreneurialism. That's where it's coming from. It's coming that way across the United States. It's happening in places like Texas, and places where there is a larger Latino community. Connecticut's struggling. I mean, we're 50 out of 50, guys, but for everyone who wants to stay here, it is up to us, and I see it coming from this community. And as mayor, I would help you do that. So, but we've got to grow the revenue base as a community, as a city, and that's how it'll end up coming back to SoNoCC. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
The strength of the Latino community within Norwalk is that there are so many of you that start small businesses. You've got to think of the community center as an extension of all the community, including the businesses. I would try to think how you could incorporate some of the business services into the center here to help pay for the costs of running the center without dominating the center. I would also look to see what grants that we have not gone after. A lot of times, when I was on the board of Neon, one of the big issues was being told that we went after every grant that was out there. Only to find out when Bill Clinton, that's how long ago that was, sent down some of his folks to talk to us from Boston, we found out that we hadn't applied for 10% of them. So there's plenty of effort that could be made in the grant area. I'm positive that you could still do it. And charging for certain events here would probably be a good idea if they aren't large charges. A little bit of money and a little bit of money and a little bit of money and a little bit of money adds up to real money eventually. So I think you can pull it off. The city owns half of it, as I understand. So I think the city is obligated to make some investments in the facility itself to make sure the facility remains in good shape. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the South North Community Center is owned half by the city right now and half by the South North Community Center. Part of the history of this building, a really good part of the history of this building, was decades ago. The Latino community and the African American community in South Norwalk worked hand in hand. We recognized that we both had similar needs, similar social needs, similar business needs, and worked very close together. When this building had problems with the previous one half, the owner, it's very interesting. So we had a conversation earlier about what should churches do? Shouldn't churches help out? Well, I know I was part of conversations. We have a church that's right next door. It's been in existence for 95 years. African American church was willing to pay for half of this building and become a partner. And in my view, that would have been one of the smartest and best things that could have ever happened. Because guess what? Between the African American community and the Latino community, we are going to continue to have the same needs. The dollars that are out there, for the public dollars that are out there, it's always based on your demographic and need. Our populations are such that, guess what? That would have been the perfect marriage. Rather than the South North Community Center just go and say, listen, here's the Latino community's needs. No, here is the need, and the need of poor white people, poor Asian people in our community. At one time, this center looked out for everyone. This building, the needs of everyone was. Quite frankly, the strength of this city is when we all come together. So, the city should always have a role in ensuring that the finances are here. But I think the city would be more apt to do that in the future if you had such a partnership going on. Quite frankly, back in the old days, before things got bad, the Neon Board was very diverse for that reason, and the South North Community Center was diverse for those reasons. Everyone recognized they had the same needs. We weren't in competition, we worked together. We need to go back to that. If I'd have my druthers, if I were mayor, I would look to see, guess what, is that something people are still interested in? Quite frankly, I know that the YMCA was willing to work with Mount Zion Church to do that. That would have been fantastic. Our YMCA, you got a church, you got the South North Community Center, you're bringing people together, they're all nonprofits who are all there just to serve the best interests of people. You can have city government doing this part, but they're in a better position to solicit private funds. I think private investors, when they see our community working together to lift people up, they're more apt to contribute. Thank you.
Well, they're right. The city does own half this building, and we're in discussions. I don't know if Mr. Pena is comfortable with some of the discussions we're having if I bring it out. Okay, the city is trying to acquire this building. We own 50% of the building. The South Norwalk Community Center owns the other 50%. As you know, because Neon went bankrupt, half of the building that Neon owned, or the 50% share, went into the bankruptcy court. So I've had my attorney working with the bankruptcy court to make sure that we don't lose this asset, because it is a tremendous asset to the city of Norwalk. So we originally were told that if we wanted half the building, we would have to pay up to $300,000 to the bankruptcy court. Through skillful negotiations, my attorney got the half of the building for $25,000. And that money went to pay for some of the outstanding bills that existed. So now, what are we planning on doing? We are looking for the city of Norwalk to take full ownership of the South Norwalk Community Center building. We've had discussions with Mount Zion. Bruce was part of those discussions. We've had discussions with the YMCA, and we've had discussions with the South Norwalk Community Center to see what the best model is. We're looking now for perhaps for the redevelopment agency to take over. This building needs a lot of work. This building needs a security system. This building needs a new roof. This building needs a new elevator. So we're trying to figure out, there's probably about $500,000 worth of investment that needs to be made to bring this building up to code in order to make it safe for the children, make it safe for the people. We're trying to bring in people that will have case management. They'll have the YMCA partnering with Mount Zion and partnering with the South Norwalk Community Center. So this can be a full service building for everybody in the South Norwalk area, because it's so centrally located that we need to put this in and provide the services that are so much needed in the South Norwalk area. So we are moving forward with this. All those discussions are taking place, and we're very, very confident that we're going to put together a model that can bring this building back to full potential and service the needs of the community. Thank you.
60 seconds?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. $500,000 is the number that makes it happen. Quite frankly, that's why you've got a state delegation. Now you've got a state representative here. They'd probably be willing to do this too. Guess what? You go to the state. I mean, we ain't got a lot of money, but you know what? Bonding does happen. This is a bondable issue. All right? That and private money. So
the city of Norwalk and the redevelopment agency are going to front this money, by the way. We don't need the state. We don't get much from the state as it is. We're not going to ask for more. We're not going to ask for more. We don't get much as it is.
Where does the redevelopment money come from? Where's the redevelopment?
It's almost 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question, and